This level of degeneracy and knuckle draggery and skullduggery and just sadistic type of just this shows Trump to be so spiteful in a way that is so unbecoming, that it is toxic politically, not only for Trump but people around Trump. It'll bleed into them by being associated with this type of politic. Now, if you have not heard, director Rob Reiner has passed away. Now, I'm not going to pretend to be an expert in Rob Reiner. I've probably seen some stuff he's worked on as somebody who consumes media, but I don't know much about the man. But the situation, as I know it, seems to be that him and his wife were both killed, likely by their son. We don't know that to be 100% the situation, but that seems to be what the outline is as the fog is clearing. That's scary. That's crazy. I couldn't imagine what it's like to be in that family, to lose basically three members of your family at once, both Rob, his wife, and then their son, because how can someone like that stay family when they take away family, right? Oh my gosh, that's so horrible. That's so horrific. Now, Donald Trump doesn't like Rob Reiner. Now, Donald Trump doesn't like Rob Reiner because Rob Reiner is a critic of Donald Trump, and Rob Reiner is somebody you would say is somebody who supported things in opposition to Donald Trump, i.e., he'll give some money to pro-Democrat causes and such. So he is a guy from Hollywood who is to the left of Donald Trump and is willing to donate to causes that Trump would view as either progressive in nature or certainly not with him. So a Hollywood socialite who doesn't like Trump and donates to anti-Trump causes. Well, that's not even particularly uncommon, is it? Because I'm trying to figure out what exactly triggered this style of outburst out of Trump, but I don't think that it's anything special about Rob Reiner. I don't think it's anything in particular about Rob Reiner. In fact, I think Rob Reiner is just one name in a long list of names that Donald Trump despises due to their critique of him in a way that makes him basically trudge over their humanity and talk about them as if they were less than human in the way they talk about them in life and death. And look, if Rob Reiner had uh, hurt Donald Trump's children, or had burnt his home down, or had committed some unspeakable, horrific crime, you know, like he was a type of Jeffrey Dahmer or a Gacy or like a, I don't know, some sort of masked Leatherface type figure, the Gray Man, Wisteria, I don't know, something. But instead, it's just a director who doesn't like him. And this is what he had to say about him after these circumstances come to light of his murder. A very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away, together with his wife Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind crippling disease known as all caps Trump derangement syndrome, sometime referred to as TDS. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession of President Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all goals and expectations of greatness, and with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before. May Rob and Michelle rest in peace. Throws that at the end as if you put that cherry on the top of that big pile of crap, somehow like makes it consumable. By the way, I still can't talk about it. President Donald J. Trump. Why does he talk about himself like that? This is supposed to be him. He's saying President Donald J. Trump. He just cannot help but refer to himself as if like you end an email as Dr. Mike, but then you have to refer to yourself constantly in your emails as the Dr. PhD Michael. Okay, yeah, I don't know why you need to refer to yourself as that. in your own message. But besides the obvious ego here, but just the disdain, the we know the circumstances of his death, and he uses it as a punchline to say the reason he really died is he's just so crazy about me, and it was through the craziness he caused others. Mind you, against he was murdered. So the idea is he was so crazy, he caused the no matter which way you slice it, this is spiteful, this is gross, this is disgusting, and this is unbecoming of the President of the United States. Now, that is not something that is uncommon in using as describing words, talking about Donald Trump's behavior. But for this to happen so immediately after is really bad. And then Donald Trump followed it up by doubling down in the Oval Office when asked by reporters.
A number of Republicans have denounced your statement on Truth Social after the murder of Rob Reiner. Do you stand by that post?
Well, I wasn't a fan of his at all. He was a deranged person as far as Trump is concerned. He said he knew it was false. In fact, it's the exact opposite, that I was a friend of Russia, controlled by Russia. You know, it was the Russia hoax. He was one of the people behind it. I think he hurt himself in career-wise. He became like a deranged person, Trump derangement syndrome. So I was not a fan of Rob Reiner.
So he's this angry at him because he said he was a fan of Russia? That's what derived this? There's going to be a lot of funerals Trump's not going to know how to react to.
At all, in any way, shape, or form. I thought he was very bad for our country, yeah.
So he doubled down, no apology. Trump doesn't know how to apologize. He has a strategy of really no apologies, no apologizing. So he just kind of barrels through this question and just said he was very bad. He's very negative. And kind of ignores the idea or ignores the fact that all these Republicans are denouncing him. So he is completely unapologetic. This is just the man he is. He's going to say that about people who die, and we're just going to have to deal with it. Mind you, Rob Reiner said when Charlie Kirk passed away, like he expressed sympathy towards his wife and was openly horrified. And when when people at Turning Point USA heard of Rob Reiner's death, they were reposting that footage of Rob talking about Charlie Kirk's passing. There were other Republicans that were sending out their sympathy. And so, yeah, it got a really negative reaction. And so everybody in the party is right now either trying to keep Trump talking about this at an arm's distance, completely not associating with it whatsoever, or they're openly denouncing it. Most choosing the former. Mike Johnson is an example of the former.
About the Rob Reiner tragedy, and I heard the shocking news as many did this morning. I was in meetings, fundraising meetings this morning, walked out and heard that. The shocking news that apparently their son committed the murders is not only an unspeakable family tragedy, it's another reminder of just the senseless violence and evil that is so rampant in our society. So our prayers go out to the Reiner family, the survivors, and everybody who's affected by this. At times like this, my thoughts go to Scripture. Psalm 34 is a good one. It says, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted, and he saves those who are crushed in spirit. We're seeing a lot of tragedies. I was looking on my Twitter feed this morning, all the terrible events that have befallen, you know, the slaughter of Jewish young people celebrating Hanukkah in Australia. We had the troops that we lost in the last few days. You've had all these unspeakable, Brown University, the tragedy. We see evil all around us. And during the holiday season, as we enter the holy season, we've begun Hanukkah. We're coming up upon Christmas. We have to appeal to our better angels, and we have to, I think we've got to amplify those voices and those sentiments. So that's my position on it. I don't think that's probably a surprise.
What about the president's attack? What about the president's attack of him?
He turned around so quick.
That's my position on it. I don't think that's probably a surprise.
What about the president's attack? What about...
He knew the question was coming. He knew the question was coming. He was not ready for it. He did not want to engage with it. He did not want to openly condemn the president and have to deal with the president's ire in a meeting. And he did not want to not condemn it because it's so openly horrific and so openly vile from the representative of the Republican Party, as he is the Speaker of the House representing the Republican Party, majority leader of the Republican Party, that he would just rather not only keep it at an arm's distance, he is keeping it at he took out a poll. He has a poll cue and is keeping it as far away from himself as possible. I would not be surprised if he refuses to answer this question And if he actually skips interviews for the next few days, because if he agrees to be on any TV interview, I don't know how he answered this question. He's gonna have to answer it eventually, so I think he's gonna take a few days. But if the party is uncomfortable with talking about Trump's basic conduct, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign for the people that you've chosen to represent the moral center of the country. By the way, they've asked follow-ups, and he ran.
When are you heading to Buffalo?
Mr. Speaker, do you condemn Trump's post about Rob Reiner?
What are your thoughts about what President Trump said about Rob Reiner at his press conference today?
I don't do ongoing commentary about everything that's said by everybody in government every day.
We are the president of the United States.
We are trying to bring down health care costs for the American people. They're very important votes, very important issues, and that's what we're focused on.
A lot of your members are criticizing him.
I gave commentary this morning, and you all heard it. Thank you.
I don't think we're getting our answers.